Well, hello, everybody. We love you. Thank you. And welcome back to another episode of United Earth Angels Series podcast. Andy, we are already on episode 60.
I know. Oh my gosh, 60 episodes.
Can you
And we
believe
never
that?
ran out of things to talk about. That's
No,
amazing.
how could we? Because, hey, just like today's topic, being of service is never a burden. That's why it's responsibility, not burden. Hey, who am I? I'm Toby Staples, and I'm your host today of United Earth Angels Series podcast. What do I do? Well, I'm an Earth Angel and a self mastery mentor. Got 21 books, I've created 5 programs, and I am here to, hey, set everybody free from those invisible shackles of demise and destruction. Yes, that's what I do. Andy, my co pilot, can you introduce yourself to the world, please?
Absolutely. Hello, hello. I'm Andy Joe. I am an earth angel and a light worker and a mama to 11 children and a wife to an amazing husband. And I'm here to shine brightly for others to see so they can find their light too. Thank you for joining us today.
Love it. Love it. And this is episode 60 already, and how being of service is responsibility and not a burden. Because it's a needed topic. And Andy was like, yeah, we need to talk about this today. And I was like, sure, let's do it. So, Andy, why don't you kick this episode off? Because I know you had something to say about this.
Yes, yes, I have a lot to say about it. When I was unaligned and in fear, shame, guilt, blame, and all the crap that is not my frequency now, I felt like every responsibility, every service was a burden on me. It weighed heavy on me, heavier than I could hold, but I held it. And now that I am an aligned being, I see everything as an opportunity, as something to help. I don't look at responsibilities as a burden. I don't look at being a service as a burden. I look at it as something that helps others to feel the light like I feel it. I don't want others to suffer. I don't want others to live in fear, to live in their shame, blame, guilt, denial, anything. I want everyone to be at the same frequency. I I tell my children, especially my teens, look, the stuff you see on social media, the stuff you see on internet, news, all that, it's just they're trying to make you fear life. You shouldn't fear life. You should live it. Make your choices. You know, what makes you happy? What makes you feel uncomfortable? Don't buy in to the fear mongering of TV, of, social media. Don't buy into it. It's not worth your happiness. It's not worth your love. You have to sort through stuff and say, "Oh, that's if that scares me, then why am I scared? Let's go through and see why I'm scared." I d I don't want anyone to live in fear. I lived in fear long enough. I no longer live in fear. It doesn't matter what's on social media, what's on the TV. I'm not scared of it, and I don't want anybody else to be. That's why being a service is not a burden to me, because I want everybody to feel as good as I feel. And it's my responsibility, my pleasure to bring others to my level, to help them get rid of the fear, get rid of the shame, get rid of the blame, get rid of all the bullshit that's kept them there. I don't like seeing people suffer. So it is my honor to be of service to not only my children, but to anyone who needs it. I'm not going to, burden them with, hey, do this, hey, do this, hey, do this. I'm going to be me, and people ask, "How are you so happy? How are you so stress-free? You have that many kids." Like, I have extra kids this weekend, and people probably thinking, "Is she insane?" But I love life in my house. I love life around me. All the kids that come to my house say, "I love being at your house." Like, "I'm glad you do."
Yeah, I was like that, the community mom, when I was younger and I had young kids. Everybody dropped their kids with me, and it was always a lot of kids around. But being of service, let's bring this up. You know, being of service is responsibility and not burden. You know, it either runs in your blood and your genetics or it doesn't. Why do I say that? Well, because being of service runs in my genetics down to my core. And it's not a burden to me to speak the truth and stand up for myself and be of service to me first. And in order to be in service for others, you must be in service for yourself first, all the time. Because what version of you are you bringing to try to serve anything to anybody if you're not in your highest potential of the love that's fueling you and your intentions for being in service? Because you could go out and play that you're in service to others and go volunteer your time and go and do whatever it is. But what is your intention for doing that? Is it for you to get clout? Is it for you to be seen? Is it for you to get something out of it, a reward or an acknowledgement or a validation? Or do you intentionally go out there because you love to be of service? You see, my grandfathers fought in the war. On my mother's side, my great grandfather was a prisoner of war. Well, my grandfather served in World War II. My grandmother, who was married to that grandfather who served in World War II, she volunteered her time for like what, 75 years of volunteer work. She's 102 today. That is what being of service is. Family might not like what you have to go and do, and you may miss out on things, but your service is something you either are able to do or not. But if you can't be of service to yourself, you can't be of service to others. And when I watch people of being in service, well, look at the people and all the people that serve. And I'm going to say it, and this is going to be very controversial for everybody, but look at everybody who just got deployed. They had to leave everybody behind. They're not looking at it as a burden. Look at all of the things that are happening. Look at people being of service, feeling that is responsibility and their duty. Well, we have to hold love and compassion in a unified field for everybody in service. And that is the responsibility of being of service to others. But you have to hold that for yourself too, first. Because, Andy, how good could you have been to be in service for anybody if you were in bed, dismantled by anxiety, medicated on all kinds of meds? Could you be in service the way that you are right now had you not done the inner work?
Absolutely not. I was barely in service of my family, so I just did the bare minimum. I wouldn't have been able to I probably would still be in bed. I wouldn't be of service to anybody, not even myself. Like, I would literally go a week without taking a shower.
And look
That's
where
how
you are
bad it
now.
was. I
And
know.
we've been working together for what, a year and some?
Yeah,
And you've totally, completely transformed into a version of yourself that maybe you didn't even realize existed because it was so buried underneath everything you were carrying.
yeah. I knew I'd get here, but I didn't know I'd get here. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, yes. Well, I'm forever grateful for you and for the results that you took upon yourself. And if I never chose to be of service to the world, Andy would have never received the results in her life that she
No,
has.
no,
You
I
see,
wouldn't have.
it's all attached to each other. So when I could be of service to myself and turn on this high potential of love that flows through us that actually keeps me alive, how could I not be of service to the world and share that knowledge? And look, Andy took all of that knowledge, applied it in her life, and she's no longer buried underneath all of that stuff, those bricks, those rocks that I tell you about that you got to rid yourself of.
Yeah. I
I'm
will
proud of
never
you.
again be buried by nothing. I know my worth. I know what needs to be done. I know what I enjoy. I refuse to be buried by anything like that again.
And you know what's funny is a lot of people have said to me, "Oh, Toby, what? You're trying to make a bunch of people that turn out to be like you?" And I laughed because they have no idea the way my program's set up. I give you guys all the tools and I tell you, it is personal to you. This is how you got to do it. But it applies to you and your life, your traumas, your things. But I show you exactly how to get through, dig it all up, dismantle it, discard it, release it, and move on. So it's not about me trying to make you like me, but
Mm-mm.
yet hold the frequency that I do, you see? And it's uniquely personal to you. I can't
Yeah.
make you like me. Nobody should be like me. They should be like you themselves.
Yeah. And they need to find their truest self, their highest self. And once they find that, there's there's no wanting to go back to where things were. I
Mm.
mean, yeah, you can stay stuck if you want, but are you happy? Are you even healthy? Are you happy with your situation? Are you comfortable? I wasn't. I kept feeling a tug. I kept feeling a tug and I didn't know what it was. I was like, I hate this. This sucks. I hate, how can I get out of this? But then I'd lay back down, go back to bed. I don't want to. I don't want to. And then I met Toby and I was like, hmm, okay, there's the tug. That's where, the source love that's fueling Toby is what was tugging me. I didn't know what it was until I did, but I knew that life wasn't for me. I knew I shouldn't have been in bed. I knew I shouldn't have been on medicine, but I didn't know a way out till I was shown a way out. You have to have a hand up sometimes.
Well, you had to be of service to yourself. And now you can fully be there consciously with clarity and openness and a loving heart to be there to serve others and what they need.
Yeah,
But we got to serve ourselves first all the time before we serve others. And that's the biggest responsibility. And you serving you should not be a burden ever. That is your responsibility to you. And what is
right.
serving you? Not doing anything that makes your heart not feel right.
Yep. If your heart feels heavy over something that is going on around you and you feel like really uncomfortable about a circumstance or anything, that's your intuition telling you, hey, don't do that. You don't want to be there. Listen, leave.
Yeah, because
You
you know
don't,
what the biggest thing? I'm being channeled right now. I've got a zap that just came in. Because when people don't listen to that initial reaction of, yes, I want more of this, or that pullback, they talk themselves out of it because of people's title and the meaning that they give this person. So they're like, even if they have the pullback, they're like, oh, okay, but I promised I'd show up. Okay, I got to do this. Okay, they're not going to like me if I tell them no. Oh, shit. Okay, I won't say yes to this again. And they override what their heart is telling them, and they do it anyway. And then they walk away going, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. Feeling drained or depleted. They don't stay true to their initial heart's reaction.
Yep.
But I'm glad you did when that pull called you.
I am too, and I'm grateful. I am so grateful that you showed me how to move all the blocks, all the bricks, all the rocks, everything out of the way and just flow through them like water. I mean, literally.
Yeah, because I ran you guys through a 17-week program where we put in quite a few hours a week to get the results that you all achieved, because I knew that the time was on, and I had a job to do to be of service to all of you. And you all hit heights that I was like, yes, in a very short amount of time. That kind of transformational process usually takes somebody quite a few years to do. And you guys did that in 17 weeks. Now in leadership, you guys are mastering your gifts. What? Oh, now you could really be of service, because when you clear your vessel and you tap into the source love that's fueling you, and then you can hit that overflow state by dismantling the ego, well, then you're like an overflowing water fountain for all around you. And that's the biggest service to humanity that you could do, is to stay in an overflow state. But as long as the ego still has you, which is fear created, you can never be in an overflow state. So you must be of service to yourself, and it's responsibility to yourself to understand that fear is organic. It's learned. You were taught to be scared, yes, of anything, because you were fearless as a child. That's your original state. If you were fearful, you never would have sat up, you never would have crawled, you never would have walked. It's when you were touching everything, everybody made you fearful to listen and to comply, because there would be consequences right away. Well, I did that to my kids too. So I speak from experience, but this is why I'm so adamant about being of service, to share the awareness, because I know how things have leaked down and they've got to stop from our generation. Doesn't matter what we've done. We have to do better as of now.
Yep. And if we know better, we do better. Like, yeah, I didn't know until I knew because I raised my kids the same way. My older kids were raised with a unhealed, unaligned mama. And now that I have the 4 little ones, I know better, so I do better. I have that discussion with my adult kids and my teen kids at least twice a month. It's like I didn't know. My mom didn't teach me that. My mom didn't teach me to, stay calm, find out what's wrong, just listen to my children, because she never listened to me. She didn't know better, you know? But I just, when you know better, you do better. If you want better, just put it that way. Some people know better, but they don't do better because they don't want better. But I knew, as soon as I learned that what was to be done, I didn't want to be the same mom, the same person I was. So I didn't want to be stuck. So I knew better. I did better. Still doing better. Still learning. Never stop learning.
Yeah, no, for real. I get it too. I like, everything's a learning process. And if people took off the labels of good or bad and accepted that everything was for learning and evolution of the soul, and I'll say it again too, like, everybody's going to stop being delusional about their expectations of other people and how they expect others to show up for them when they don't even show up for themselves. Like, you really have to show up for you, and you got to be of service to the self. And I got to keep saying that, because that's your truest responsibility, is to be of service to yourself first and hit that overflow state. And without dissolving your ego, you won't do that. Well, guess what? There's steps and levels to accomplish that and hit that state.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. And you
If you
got to
don't
be
take
rooted in. Hey, go ahead, Eddie.
if you don't take all the steps, if you miss a step, you won't truly be in the state. And your body will feel it. Your body will let you know. Trust and believe your body will let you know. Pain, um, being worn out, not wanting to do nothing, not wanting to deal with anything. Your body, when it shows you those things, you need to pay attention. Because if you don't pay attention, it's going to show you more things on top of the things it's already shown you. It's not comfortable at all.
Well, we were taught to believe that illness was a real thing. Okay. We make our own self sick. We're born perfect in thriving mode, capable of doing everything. You see how kids are resilient, they bounce back from everything until they're conditioned out of that state. So from here on in, what we have to make sure of is that we're empowering children and empowering their parents. Okay, empowering everybody to discard what is not organic. And what is that? Fear, shame, guilt, grief, lies, illusions, and the ego. None of that is organic. None of that is who you are. That is what you've been forced to be.
Yep. Yeah. And I don't blame my parents for that. Like that's how they were brought up. I mean, they didn't know better, so they couldn't do better. But it's time to stop the cycle. It's time to break it. It's time to realize that the resources are here. They're here. We can break whatever generational curses that any family has been through if we just realize we are the curse breakers.
Yes.
We can stop it. We didn't start it, but we're going to stop it. Enough is enough. We're not standing for it anymore. We are not supposed to live in fear, shame, blame, guilt, denial. That's not what we were born as. Then that's definitely not what I'm going to leave this world as. Not happening. It stops with me. And my little loves know that mama is a better mama now.
Yeah, for sure. No, you guys, you got to be of service to yourself first and take the steps to make sure that you rid yourself of everything inorganic in these times of change. There's a new frequency that is on the earth right now. It is a new earth frequency. We are entering a new world, a new era, a new time. Yes. And source is wiping away everything that must go. Yes. It may feel destructive. It may feel uncertain. But one thing you can be certain of is that you're breathing. So you matter. So you are meant to be alive. And you're meant to experience whatever you're living. But what state are you experiencing it from? It is time to live it out from an overflow state of capacity, because that's who you genuinely are. Before any credential, before your name, before anything, even what you've acquired. What have you sold out of your own soul to acquire all that you have? And once acquiring all of that, have you been of service to others? Have you been of service to yourself? How can you be of service to yourself? Well, I know Andy's got a distraction right there, so I'll tell you. Get in the mirror and tell yourself all of those amazing things that you need to hear every morning. Every morning without fail. You go in that mirror to brush your teeth. You go in that mirror to wash your hands after you've eliminated. You make sure you look at yourself in that mirror and stop looking for what is wrong. And empower and pull out everything that's right. You're strong. You're smart. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're capable. You are source love in the flesh. That's how you can serve yourself first. And then let that source love leak into everything that you think, do, and say from there. Give your prefrontal cortex the goal of maintaining the balance, harmony, peace, and stability that you woke up with. Because that should be its first task. Not dreading that first meeting you got at 9 and shoveling back breakfast because you think that's what you got to do. No, you got to be of service to self first. Yeah. Andy, you want to jump in here for a minute or two? Because we're about to wrap up this episode 60 already.
Absolutely. Yes, I have a few distractions, but I always do. Oh, and that's okay. That's my life. But yeah, take care of yourself first. I tell my kids every day, have you told yourself how amazing you are today? If you haven't, I've got a mirror in my room. There's a mirror in the bathroom. There's a big old mirror in the hallway. You need to tell yourself because you can't count on anyone else to do it. And you need to love yourself. Before you can truly love anyone else, before you can truly care for anyone else, you have to care for yourself. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. I've tried for many, many, many years. It's draining. And, they can tell that you're pouring from an empty cup because they sure can tell that I'm pouring from an overflowing one now. So they know the difference. You know what I mean? It's indescribable, really, how it feels.
Well, then can I ask you then straight up, have you successfully loved yourself back to life?
I have. I know I have.
Woo! That's what it's all about. Is
Yes.
locking into your flow and feeling that love over worry and allowing that to keep you in balance and alignment. Yes, because look, if you can't ignite your fountain of youth, well, then you cannot ignite your flow because they all depend on each other. All right. Yep. When you ignite that fountain of youth and you can burst it through to an overflow state, well, then you can pour into others freely.
Yeah.
But absolutely. I'll give you one thing about being in service and responsibility. Don't go and pour your overflow into any broken cups.
No.
All right? Because you'll be sadly mistaken. It'll cause a flood. They're not going to use that. Give them the steps how to fix their fountain to hold their flow. And that's what I did with Andy. You had to construct the fountain solid, fix those wounds so you can handle the flow.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, if you want that flow for you all, I have the perfect system. You can get it in the comments. Yes, you can. Anyway, let's wrap up this episode. Andy, you want to tell everybody, you want to say sayonara to everybody, and I'll wrap up this episode because we're at 30 minutes. So let's do this real quick.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've got kids asking me questions all over, but I love you guys. Have a great day on purpose, with intention. Take care of yourself first so you can truly take care of anything and everything coming your way. I love y'all. I'll see you next time.
Yes, guys, thank you for joining us. We love you. Thank you for your time, your energy, and thank you for holding off with us and holding out with us because you guys have been rocking with us now for 60 episodes. That's amazing. And I am so grateful. And I'm really hoping that this is of service and of help and of benefit to each and every one of you all the time. And this is why we do it. We love you. See you next week, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Do not miss us. we'll be back out here. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.